The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
What's happening, everybody?
Holy echo.
Yeah, no kidding. Welcome to Talk Live Paranormal. I am Mr. Bill.
I'm Shannon.
I'm Jake.
And we're here.
So far,
we're all still here. We're all going to make it, man. It's okay. You can do it. Hey, everybody, we want to thank everybody for listening in, being here tonight with us. It's another lovely, beautiful evening outside. I'd tell you what the weather is in your area, but I'm not a weatherman, and I'm not going to lie to you. Look outside. That's what it's doing. It's the easiest way to say it. What's the weather like in your area? I don't know. Look outside. Open a damn window. I want to start off tonight like we do every week when we're here and say thank you. Thank you to the men and women serving around the world in the United States Armed Forces. Thank you for everything you do to keep us safe. Keep your head down, get one for each one of us, and come home.
amen to that.
Now, how you been, Shannon?
Now,
How you been?
I've been all right, man.
Good. You been on any investigations lately?
Nope, not since I went to Ashmore.
Why not?
Having withdrawals.
Withdrawals? Jake, how you doing over there, buddy?
I'm alright.
I'm alright.
Everybody's all right tonight.
Everybody's just alright. That's alright. I like that. That's alright. Okay. Alright. Mm-hmm. So, before we get started with the topic we have, Jake and I were part of an investigation last weekend. Was that last weekend, Jake?
I don't know. Which one are you talking about?
The private one.
We've done...
No, not the one where we went down and just talked to him during the day.
That was 2 weeks ago.
The young lady who we did the investigation with turned 100 years old last Sunday.
The 9th. Yeah. So that was 2 weeks ago.
She was Shannon, she was freaking amazing. Every mental faculty was there. Everything. When I first met her, I'm thinking there's no way this lady is 100 years old. No way.
Yeah, you were talking about her.
Oh, she was awesome. But she had I think she has some issues going on in her home. I think we were able to debunk a few of them for her and make her feel a little bit better about them.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a couple of things that actually happened that I without giving too much away that I wanted to discuss. One of the things, Shannon, we tried out a piece of equipment that I would have never thought to try. It was a vibration sensor. One of the ones that you put on a barn door or something. It's an alarm, and if somebody opens the door, it goes off, and it doesn't shut. And this thing's loud as hell. You can ask Jake. It had some girth to it, but it's just a little cheap box. And all it does is, if it something moves it, it sets it off. Well, we'd taken it and laid one of this young lady's sweaters or shawls, or I guess it was a sweater, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a sweater.
Okay, laid it on her guest bed where she knows there's things going on, and then placed the alarm on top of it. Now, Jake and Michelle had been sitting on the bed. They were moving around on the bed, and it wasn't going off. And then out of the blue, that sumbitch went off with us in the room. We got it on video. We got it on sound.
Back up even before that, Bill. Because
no one was down there.
We hadn't even started it yet. You, Michelle, and the other people that were there, the other guests that we had were outside talking, and Kelly and I were just talking to this woman upstairs on the couch, and all of a sudden Kelly and I hear this alarm going off, and we look at each other, And then it was at the same time we had the realization of what it was. So Kelly went one way to get you all. I went the other way to check the camera, and we even played it back.
So the guest person that Jake is talking about was this lady's priest. He is so into this, it's not even funny. He is cool as shit. So we had that happen, and then something else happened that's kind of funny. And and she's standing right next to me now. And so I was upstairs talking with that young lady, and we could hear them. The people that were downstairs were walking back like they were coming up, and we also had a motion alarm down there, and it went off. But they set it off, and Jake's laughing too hard. And thanks, not knowing that the motion alarm was armed, it went off, and all I can hear is this. It sounds like a herd of elephants coming up the steps from the basement, and the screams and everything. And this young lady and I jumped up thinking they got something. I get to the stairwell that leads down to the basement, and my beautiful, lovely wife is laying on the floor face down, and everybody's laughing so hard, and we couldn't figure out why. And all of a sudden, all I heard was, "I peed my pants."
Oh my God, Kelly!
The best part is we got it on the camera's audio too.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious. But this young lady made a comment that made me giggle so damn hard. Because after Kelly said it a couple more times, she looked right at her and goes, "Oh, honey, it happens."
That's what that woman said?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then she made another comment a little bit later. She looked right at Kelly and goes, "Don't you bring extra pairs in case stuff like this happens?"
I mean, she was all there, Shannon. It was awesome.
That's cool.
I hope she's doing great. I want to wish her, without giving her name out, I want to wish her a happy 100th birthday. To know the knowledge that this lady has of what has happened in the world would be phenomenal. And to see some of the things she saw and went through in her life, going through the Depression and wars and the way the United States has changed so much around her.
Oh, I bet.
It would be just amazing just to sit down and talk to her about that. So, yeah. It was pretty wild.
Well, maybe she will one day for you guys.
I'm hoping so. I'd like to just sit and talk with her. Say, hey, this has nothing to do with that. We just want to sit and talk. So that's what we've done. That's the investigations we've been on. My lovely bride, my lovely wife, has now received her certificate for her level 1 and level 2 Reiki. She's going for her master's, which I think is awesome. So I congratulate her on that. Congratulations, Kelly. And that's other than a few medical issues going on here and there, that's about all that's going on in this house. So.
Yeah, I feel you on the medical issues with my little one, so I totally understand.
So, how's she holding up?
She seems to be. I've got her on a certain pattern to where she's doing okay, but dude, I'm telling you, man, crying episodes once or twice a week, and I mean they're just bad to where there's nothing I can do for her. Except for put the little warm tummy wrap on and give her some gas drops. I mean, until they put this G-tube in her, it's been hell, actually.
Wow. Well, sending out lots of love to her. Keep it safe, little one. You'll make it through.
We'll get her through it.
So, are paranormal occurrences real, or are they a trick of the mind? That is our main subject for tonight. Now, the article we're looking at, I want to make sure anybody else wants to go out there and look at it. You go to www.fbi.gov LLEWLLYN.com and look up this article. That's the title of it. Are paranormal occurrences real, or are they a trick of the mind? Now, before we go into the article and what this person says, I want to know your guys' thoughts on just the title. Are they real, or are they a trick of the mind?
I don't know.
Why not?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, because there's some locations where I will read up on past events that have happened, and then those events are kind of in the back of your head. They are for me, anyways, when I go into a location. But then there are some that I don't do research on, where I go in blind.
Jake?
I'm going to take a little bit of a more humanities-esque type approach, because when you look at what the definition of the word paranormal really means, all it means is outside of what would normally happen. So when you think about the question, are paranormal occurrences real, it's going to depend on the person, because what each of us defines as normal, or at least what each of us can explain, is going to be vastly different.
Oh, I am so screwed.
So then I think that aside, I think that's the biggest question that exists in the paranormal field, because all of us that do these investigations, we're out there, one, to get an explanation for any occurrences that we or others may be having.
Yeah.
And two, we wouldn't be doing this if we weren't at least a little bit curious about what is on the other side.
Right. But now, let's take a step back real quick. Do you believe, or do you think that some people have occurrences and that they have paranormal experiences because they were told that something happens? And since we've all been to Missouri State Penitentiary, let's just use that. All these people that come to the MSP, they hear stories about it. Do you think that sits in their subconscious and does play tricks on them?
I would say to some, yes. I wouldn't say to all. So
is there a way that we can, other than just telling them straight out, because I tell them all the time, before we let them in the building or just sign in, I always say, whatever you think you've heard or whatever you've been told about this place, about the paranormal activity, when you walk inside, forget about it, because do you believe you're more apt to possibly see something or hear something or have something happen when you're not being, for lack of terms, being led that way in your mind? If you open yourself up a little bit more and just forget about all that stuff and just try to pay more attention to your surroundings other than what your mind is already telling you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think if you read up on a location before you go, there's always that anticipation that you think you're going to catch the same stuff, or you're trying to catch the same stuff, and it won't allow you to be as open as you would like to experience something else, if that makes sense.
And is that why people get more disappointed when they don't see anything or don't hear anything? Because I was told that there's a guy down in the dungeon that likes to play with women's butts, and he never touched mine.
Right.
Well, if that's the experience you're going for, then you're probably wrong, because I have a gut feeling more men are going to get touched down there than women are, because that was just the way it was down there.
In Missouri?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you want to jump into this article at, Shannon?
To be honest with you, I only read like the first little bit of it, because I always forget that I have to hit click read more. And realized that it's like a book in this one little article. So, I mean, we can just jump around.
Let's just take it from the very beginning. When we are told we are being taken to a haunted location, long before we reach our destination, our mind will have already created its own ghosts and demons. In fact, the mind is the common denominator where any respectable paranormal investigator is concerned. And whether you are a skeptic or a believer, you can never be certain exactly what awaits you in the shadowy corners of an old manor, a medieval castle, a decaying mansion. I'm going to stop there because wouldn't that be considered some human nature? You're going into an old location and you don't know it's around the corner. That's almost a form of self-preservation. You're going to be a little bit on edge.
Right.
Especially when we shut all the lights off and we go in there in the dark and go, okay, everybody, let's go into a dark building. Boo. Baby, go.
Oh my God.
Boo, 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 baby, go. Sorry, that just stuck in my head.
Thanks, Jake. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
It seems to me that today the majority of non-professional paranormal investigators are easily pleased. Now stop there for a minute. Non-professional paranormal investigators.
There's no such thing as a professional anyway.
They're like doctors. They're always practicing, and I wish the doctors would just get it right.
Oh my goodness.
It's non-professional paranormal investigators are easily pleased, and the slightest bump in the night, creaking door, or the wind whistling through the bare floorboards nearly always becomes something other than a natural occurrence.
That's not with everybody, though, because there's a lot of people out there that debunk like crazy.
I know, but just in the people that we've dealt with, I kind of believe that statement. People who don't do this for a living, or they do this on a one-off occurrence, and just because my wife drugged me here, they hear the slightest bump or they hear a door creak and they go towards where they think the sound came from, which could have been a door right next to them that the wind blew open just a little bit, but It sounded to them like it was clear down the hall. When they go down there and they can't find anything that makes that noise, it's an automatic paranormal occurrence. And that, we've always discussed on this show over and over and over, debunk, 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 debunk. You've got to. That's the biggest thing. You've got to, if you go through everything in that building and nothing makes that same noise, well, guess what? You probably had a paranormal experience. Or something else happened. If you can't debunk it, then it's
unexplainable.
It's unexplainable, and that's what paranormal is. It's unexplainable.
Yep.
So, I don't even know what that word is. Anecdotal?
Yep.
The anecdotal accounts of someone else's ghostly experiences are unreliable, as it is human nature to embellish things. And in the tradition of the Chinese whispers, by the time the tale has been passed around to several people, it becomes something bigger and something stronger altogether. And it's orally transformed into a tale that incites even more mystery and intrigue. Now, I know we've all seen that. We've all been to a location where, this person was down here and they heard a scream and then this ghostly apparition walked up and it touched them. All right, let's break that down. That was Shannon and Michelle standing down by the cell over there, and Michelle accidentally touched Shannon, and that was Shannon running down the hallway. Or screaming. And it all seems to change. So, that, I do believe that, yes, and this is going out to anybody who wants to do any paranormal investigations, try your hardest to keep your mind as clear as possible. Again, it's going to be human nature to go, when you go into a place, Jake, is it called self-preservation? Where you want to protect yourself at all costs? Yeah, I believe so. So you try to protect yourself, and in protecting yourself, you become a little bit more jumpy, I think. So just try to relax a little bit more. Try to do something else. Try to do something that takes your mind off of it. I think one of the best things to do, honestly, is to go to the location during the day when there's light inside. Then you can kind of see what's around before you ever go in there in the dark.
Right, get familiar with it.
Yeah, so try that. You've really got to try it because it... And that brings us to another part of the subject. Are ghosts only... Are they sleeping during the day? Why aren't they around during the day?
They are.
Well, they don't talk. But
I've still gotten EVPs and noises during the day at certain locations.
You know, somebody said it best. Who the hell? What was that was said? Jake, was it Alan that said that? That we don't see lightning that much during the day, but we see it more at night, and that's kind of the same. If you take that same aspect of it and put it toward paranormal investigation, because it's so supposedly so much easier to see them at night, and they're harder to see during the day or see something happen during the day, because in the dark our eyes are trying to focus more, we're trying to see more. So would that be a good analogy? You don't see a whole lot of lightning during the day, but you see it more at night?
I would agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you're following that logic, and it loops back to the point of this article, is when it's at night and that visual acuity is decreased, your ability to make sense of your environment is impaired. So then, of course, it's, as human nature, you see it all throughout history, we find the simplest explanation for something, which in a location that you're already having been told is haunted, that first explanation then automatically goes to that it's a paranormal experience, only because of your inability to really see what's going on in the environment around you. Whereas in the daytime, when you've got light coming in through the windows or the lights are on in the rooms, you don't have that loss of vision. So then your mind is able to really make sense of what's going on in the environment much more rapidly, and it all stays in your subconscious as opposed to being brought forward into your conscious mind.
True. I agree. I mean,
that's not to say that things don't happen during the day, because they certainly do.
Well, I remember when I was up setting up all the camera systems for the first time that we ever did Edinburgh Manor. I was concentrating solely on, setting up camera placements and microphones and running cable and freezing because it was in the middle of February. It was one of the coldest winters we'd had in a long time. It was just nasty inside the building. It was even worse outside. And just trying to concentrate on getting stuff right, so I knew I got the angles and the pictures and the sounds that I wanted. And then when I stopped just to sit down for a second, and I was alone in the building, that's when I started hearing it sounded like somebody walking around, and then I started hearing someone hum. And I went to where I thought it was at, and it wasn't that room, so I shut that door and thought, I'll keep the spirit out of there. Yeah, I shut a door. They can walk through walls. They can make it through a door. But then I went and I was chasing this humming noise, and I couldn't figure out what. And it wasn't a hum of a motor. It was a lady humming a song, and I never could find it. Again, I was alone in the building. I went back and I listened on the recordings, and we picked it up on the recordings. But it'd be really quiet in one area where I had a microphone, and I knew it was down past the microphone, and I'd go towards that one, and then it would stop, but then it would pick it up on another microphone in the other end of the building.
Kind of like it was moving around.
Yeah, it was up, and it was always on the one floor, just going back and forth. So I finally just sat down and started, okay, I'm just going to sit right here. It was in the middle of the building, downstairs in the main open area, and was just sitting there, just thought, I'm going to relax. I'm going to sit. It was in the sun porch. The sun was beating in. It was warm. It finally felt good to warm up a little bit. And I sat there, and I would swear that it was right outside that open area in the hallway humming. And then when I went back and I listened to the recording, it was so loud right there, like it was standing in the hallway, just humming. Like it was, I'm here, la da 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 da. Just like, oh my God, that is. So yeah, okay, that was middle of the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So that was awesome. That was freaky, but it was awesome.
Well, that one video that I posted on our Talk Live page on Facebook of that, whatever that was coming out of the wall from Post Town. Do you remember that?
Yes.
That was at like 2 something in the afternoon. That was during the day too.
Really?
Yeah.
So I guess, yes, they're around. We just got to get quiet. We can talk with them, see them, give them our love. I love you.
Sometimes they'll come out more if you're not even paying attention to them, though.
Yeah, how many times have we seen that?
If you're just carrying on a conversation with whoever's there with you and not even trying to investigate, sometimes you can catch some good stuff then, too.
So when you're analyzing paranormal occurrences, so with little or no time at all to make out an on-the-spot detail analysis of a paranormal occurrences when you're doing it, as a paranormal investigator, you really do have to be prepared for all eventualities. Is that the right word? Looks good.
Sounds good.
With as much photographic and audio evidence as you can possibly get. To be analyzed, and this is the part I don't believe in, and this is personal, analyze the following day. Now, there's a lot of people that say you should do that the very next day. You need to stop and do whatever you're doing and just go do it the next day. Listen to everything, do everything. I think, and this is my personal, I want to know what you guys don't think about this, you should wait at least 48 hours before you start doing anything. Because you're going to be watching yourself on a video or listening to yourself, and you don't want to hear something that you already may be thinking about really hard. And I remember that. This is what happened. I think we've caught more going back and listening to stuff going, I don't remember this part. I know we were sitting there, but I don't remember saying any of this or asking these questions. And bang, we catch something.
I would agree with that, but like, there's been times where when we went to Ashmore, we came home, we went on a Saturday, stayed all night, Saturday night, came home on Sunday, and I hadn't even been home 30 minutes before I was uploading everything to the computer and starting to listen to it. But then there's been times where I investigated all night, didn't want to even look at that stuff for a couple days, and done it that way too, and I've done the same thing. I'm like, I don't even remember going in that room, because I'll usually say what room we're in before I start the EVP. I don't know if it's from being really tired, and it could have been in the middle of the night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I just completely forgot that I'd been in there.
True.
But then to play devil's advocate to that, like in your situation, Shannon, where you're saying you completely forgot you even went into that room, who's to say, if that chunk is missing from your memory, so could all of the things that you consciously heard. So then could you be making things out to be more than what they really were? Does that make sense?
It does make sense, yeah.
I mean, it's just a possibility.
I wouldn't disagree. By any means, I wouldn't disagree with that at all.
Because Bill and I, back in December, were doing something with a couple other people at a place not far from us, about an hour and 45 minutes or so. And we had cameras set up, and we did something, and then right after we were watching the cameras, and you see me on the camera, and I'm like wandering around, and this is probably 5 minutes after it happened, and I looked right at everyone, and I was like, I don't remember walking around. And that was just 5 minutes after. So imagine what you could be missing if you wait a couple days.
The extra couple days. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And I agree. I guess it's kind of a personal preference. Each person wants to do it. But I guess I've seemed to think that when I do it, I catch more on the experiences when I don't watch it right away, or I don't do it the following day. I may wait 5 days, or go to work, and then on Saturday sit down and start watching it and listening to it, and I catch more, even though I don't remember some of the stuff. I seem to catch more of what I did, or what we did, and then when we go back and we discuss it with the group. We'll get that question from somebody in the group going, hey, do you remember we did this in the basement and we heard this, or we thought we saw this? And all I'm doing, and without them seeing it or hearing it on the tape or the video, and then I'll play it back for them, and it's the exact same thing. So it's kind of, sometimes I think it's nice if I forget, but someone else doesn't. Like Jake will remember stuff that I'll forget. Yeah. And then we'll go back and listen to it and watch it, and I'll go, wow, did you see that? And he goes, you don't remember that? I don't remember a lot of things. I drink, so therefore I am. So, yeah, I guess it's kind of your personal preference on what you want to do. Whether you do it the next day or you don't do it the next day. So...
Now, see, with the cameras we had set up everywhere, they weren't near us. So when I came home and put that on the computer and watched it, it was like watching it for the first time.
Okay.
Because nobody was on that floor while the cameras were rolling. So I can't say in those moments, do you remember that? Did you hear that? Because, after reviewing it, like when I sent you the audio when we played it a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Where we played the audio of something being thrown behind the camera, nobody was around, and nobody else heard it downstairs. So I can't ask anybody, did you hear that while we were there? But you would have thought that you could have heard it down a floor,
True.
It's weird. Especially when there's only 4 people in, a building with 3 stories. It's awful quiet.
So the next one on this list,
holy crap!
What the hell was that?
That was a dog.
That was my dogs.
I'm trying to get my butt to let go of my chair right now. Holy shnikes! Ooh, did you guys hear that? That was a paranormal experience.
Do you remember that?
I don't know what you're talking about. Hold on, my ass won't let go of this chair, though. So, I guess the next one I want to go into on this article, I'm going to jump clear down to the bottom.
Okay.
And it says, mediums are not normal. Now, just that title alone makes me go, duh. I mean, come on.
If they were normal, everybody'd be one.
Yeah. No kidding. But whatever way you look at it, mediums are far from normal, and contrary to popular belief, are not seeing and hearing spirits every day of their lives with little or no respite. So therefore, we discussed this this paper from 1903. This guy, I don't even know how to say that.
Yes.
That guy, his name was C.W. Ledbetter. He read a paper about the brains of a medialistical inclined individual named by the name of Ivan Tanutsky. He was a leading neurologist at Moscow University. Go Bears. He became fascinated with those who possess unusual and mental abilities. Okay. With his particular interest in the unusual abilities of children. What, Shannon, you call them tiny humans?
Tiny humans.
Tiny humans. Although Tanutsky took pains to avoid the word psychic, he compromised his professional integrity by devoting 7 years of his life to making a study of this subject. 7 years, Jack Daniels, that's all I'm saying. Although Tanutsky was ridiculed by his peers, see, even in 1903, they had haters. They had bullies.
They had haters back in the Western days. Come on.
Attitudes toward him completely changed when his findings were eventually published by the university. Go Bears. Tanitsky concluded that the pineal gland, a cone-shaped gland deep within the brain, was responsible for such unusual mental skills. The pineal gland. The notable professor further concluded that a child's pineal gland was much larger than in the brain of an adult, and marginally more developed in females than in males. Tanitsky stated that the pineal gland was surrounded by minute crystalline deposits, meth, making it into a neurological radar which was able to monitor invisible forces. Did he just say that a child's brain or a medium's brain has crystalline deposits around it and turned it into a radar?
Pretty much, in other words, yeah.
So, well, maybe, just an idea. It's a thought. Maybe we could dump some of these crystalline deposits into some of these so-called weathermen, and they could figure this stuff out.
What are you going to do? Lobotomy?
Better than a lobotomy. In more recent years, autopsies were carried out in America, home of the brave, land of the free, on people who possessed mediumistic tendencies. Here again, it was found that the pineal gland was much more developed than the glands found in the brain of those with no mediumistic tendencies. Also, the brain of those psychic mediumistic skills showed remarkable neurological changes, consistent in all cases with unusual quote-unquote psychic skills. The scientific fact then, no matter how you look at it, mediums are far from normal. Okay.
Yay, I'm normal.
We're screwed. So is there a way to develop your pineal gland, to grow it and strengthen it? Is there a way to exercise it? What does the pineal gland do?
Oh God, I used to know.
I guess that would be my question on that one. Is there a way to develop your pineal gland to allow you to, and maybe that's what we're all doing every time we're meditating, is we're working on our pineal gland to allow it to strengthen, allow it to enlarge, and allow it to open, and allow yourself to be open, to allow more things to come in. If your dog barks again, I'm going to shite myself.
He's upstairs.
Okay. If there's a way that we can develop that and where we can open it up, maybe the pineal gland is what I guess essentially is tied to your third eye.
Well, here's what it does, according to ThoughtCo.com. I knew it was a part of the endocrine system, but it says the pineal gland is involved in several functions of the body, including secretion of the hormone melatonin, regulation of endocrine functions, conversion of nervous system signals to endocrine signals, causes sleepiness, influences sexual development, influences immune system function, and antioxidant activity.
Okay, now put that into redneck terms so we all can understand it.
So, makes you sleepy, controls hormones in your body, and when certain hormones are released.
Okay.
Taking brain signals and deciding which hormones are going to be released in response to those signals. And then puberty and immune system.
So is that why women are more developed though they say they're marginally more developed than men, is because during certain times, women's hormones are more active. And I'm not saying any of this to put any women down, or say anything bad. It's just some women get a little bit more touchy once a month. They get a little bit more anxious. Things, and I'm serious. I mean, let's take it back even a little bit further. When young girls are going through puberty, is their pineal gland more active? And is that why sometimes we get called in on cases that dealing with, teenage young girls or teenage females that they're more susceptible to seeing and hearing things?
It certainly could be, because when you think about when males and females reach puberty, yes, it's beginning of the teens for both. But on average, females will reach puberty a couple of years before the males will. And so that could be why it's slightly more developed in females on average, is because they've had that longer period of time where it is active and where it is doing what it needs to do within the body. So think of it just like any of your muscles in the body. The more you use it, and the more you exercise it, the more efficient it's going to be. So if you think about that in terms of, let's say, a bodybuilder who's been doing it for the last 30 years, and someone who is a little overweight that just started bodybuilding, 2 weeks before. The person who's been bodybuilding for a lot longer, their body's going to be more efficient in what it needs to do to maintain that type of body structure, to make sure that it's using oxygen efficiently during workouts, and those types of things. So when you think about it like that, it does make sense that the more experience you have with it, or the more it's used, the more developed it would be, just like muscles, right? The more you work on muscles, the stronger they're going to become, the bigger they're going to become. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, it does. That actually makes a whole lot of sense. It scares the hell out of me that makes sense.
There is another site too, Bill. It's called scottjeffrey.com.
Okay.
It says 5 transformative methods to activate your pineal gland and tap into your superhuman potential.
What was that again? scottjeffrey.com?
Yeah.
Here we go. Google is our friend. .com. Huh. Okay.
Do you see it?
Well, I'm working on it. What the? Wow. I don't know. Unlock your genius. We're screwed.
You haven't found it yet. I just sent it to you. I sent it to you in Messenger.
Okay. Wonder what that ding was.
There's a lot of information on it. What was the one you were just at, Jake?
I was on ThoughtCo.
This one goes back like as far as ancient traditions and stuff too.
Wow, this does go. What? This is a. Oh wait, no, I don't want that. What the hell is that? This is a bookmark.
What?
This is a. I need to bookmark this page.
Oh. Oh, there's even a quick word of caution.
In the Hindu tradition, the third eye is called the Ajna chakra. Ajna. I think it'd be Anya.
I've never heard the first word. I've heard, Charlotte and them talk about your chakra.
Yeah. Hindus believe that a blocked chakra leads to uncertainty, confusion, jealousy, cynicism, and pessimism. But when your third eye is open, we perceive reality we experience more clarity, intuition, empathy, focus, and decisiveness. Hey, they have a PDF for an activation guide.
I see that.
I'm going to have to download that sucker. I mean,
because, you have to put your name and email, and they'll send it to you.
That's all right. I didn't know that. The Eye of Ra, I have it pictured on my computer.
Yeah.
In the cross section of the pineal pituitary and corpus
callosum.
Thank you, callosum region. They're identical. They look.
Wait, hold on. What? Send me that, because I'm trying to picture that in my brain.
Hold on, I'm gonna forward it to you.
You gotta scroll down just a little bit to get to it.
Because what I have heard, and I think I've read this before, where both the Eye of Ra and the Eye of Horus, because they're essentially the same symbol, it's just the difference is what direction is it facing.
It looks like it's backwards. Like one of them is the opposite of the other.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
They're a little backwards, but I mean, the similarities are just way too. They're way too much to deny. I mean, they really are.
This is what I was talking about. I've seen it before where they compare that symbol to the brain, to the inner part of the brain.
That is wild.
All right, well, I'll post this one to our page too.
Why is the pineal gland called the third eye? Cultures as far back as ancient Egypt referred to the pineal as the inner eye or the third eye. Why? When you cut the pineal open, pinealitis?
Pinealocytes.
Thank you. See, he doesn't even know what I'm talking about, and he's already knows. Line the interior. These, whatever Jake just said, resemble the rods and cones of the inner retina of your eyes. The pineal even has retinal tissue and the same physical wiring to the brain as the visual cortex. Indeed, the pineal gland does appear to be the third eye. How ancient cultures knew this is unclear. In Light of Medicine of the Future, Jacob Lieberman explains that the light stimulates the pineal in creatures like birds, lizards, and fish directly through the skull. In many reptiles,
that makes sense to me.
In many reptiles, the pineal has the photoreceptive elements characteristics of an eye. It is therefore referred as the third eye because in many creatures, it resembles an eye in both structure and activity. This is fascinating crap.
That makes sense. That makes sense to me because if you think back to when I was giving you the scientific functions of the pineal gland, right, dictating sleep versus wakefulness, that's what that's referring to. Because the pineal gland is responsible for producing and secreting melatonin, which is the one that makes you tired. So, in the absence of light, what does your body normally want to do? Go to sleep. You start to feel tired, you start to feel more relaxed. And then when light comes through your window, that tells your body to stop producing melatonin, and then that has you come out of sleep and begin to enter your wakefulness. So when it says that it's acting as an eye in the sense, because it's still related to the visual cortex of the brain, my question would be, is it sending signals to the visual cortex, or is it receiving signals from the visual cortex? Because if your optic nerve, with the rods and the cones in your retina, in your eye, those are going to send signals along your optical nerve into the occipital lobe, which is the back part of your brain where your visual cortex is. So if you're when it's talking about that, and the third eye operating, or the pineal gland operating as an eye from that point, I'm looking at it from the perspective going, okay, so is the visual cortex, when it receives a signal that light is coming in, is it sending signals to the pineal gland to start the cycles of wakefulness? Or is the pineal gland sending signals to the visual cortex, which is then causing it to operate as the third eye? So that's just something that I'm a little unclear on with this article, and I'd be interested to know how they're referring to it in this context.
Well, right. Yeah, I think I'm going to sit here and read this entire article because it really, as I'm just scanning through it talks about different ways. So I'm in one of the ways it says how to activate your pineal gland. So now if you're willing together, you can explore this interesting theory. Each tradition has a different methods for activating the third eye. It may be that different methods are appropriate for different individuals based on type of temperament and some other factors. In the remainder of this guide, blah, 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 we'll review 5 pineal gland activation methods. Now, the 5 they have on there, 3 of them I think I can say, and 2 of them I have no idea how to say it. First one is meditation. Second one is sun gazing. The third one, I can't even say that. It's Qigong. Thank you. The fourth one, PSY.
Psychedelics.
Oh, drugs. Okay, I'm all down for number 4. And brainwave entertainment.
Entrainment.
Okay, entrainment. It looked like entertainment to me. So they do have some cautions on here. Anybody who wants to know about this, I'm going to grab this link again.
I've already posted it to our Facebook page.
Okay. Just go there and look. Be careful, though. Please be careful. Meditation is one of the best things that anyone can do for your body, but it also can drive you up the frickin' wall. Not everybody can meditate. You see some people meditating for hours and they never move, or it looks like they pass out, Jake. But sometimes, meditation is a very hard thing to do. We tell some of our clients that we work with that are having issues that, trying meditation, they say, well, I just can't do it. Well, everybody has squirrel moments. Everybody's going to go through that in their life. They say on some of the other articles and some of the other guides that I've read that if you can start meditating for no more than 5 minutes a day, you have to do it every single day. You should meditate every single day. You should sit in a relaxed posture, sit comfortably with your eyes closed, or just lower your eyes. Take those deep, slow breaths. You just detach all your observation with everything around you and just breathe. And, part of one of the things that I have a hard time with on meditation is focusing on one certain thing. Probably one of the reasons I didn't do so well in school, because I couldn't focus on one thing because my brain just doesn't shut up like me. But it
doesn't help if you have a lot of stuff on your brain right before you meditate too.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes some getting used to. The more you do it, the easier it would get.
I actually, and there's different people meditate in different ways. I really want to try some submersion or what do they call it? A hyperbaric chamber. Is that where you float in water?
No, hyperbaric is dealing with pressure.
Okay, what's the one where you float in water? Just a water chamber? There's a meditation where you seal yourself in this container where your body just floats on the water, and there's a whole machine you have to buy for it, but I want to try it so bad. Probably because I feel more comfortable in the water than I do on land. Unless there's sharks. I don't like those things.
Well, don't try it in the ocean.
What works for me, because I'm like you, Bill, I do really well meditating in water. So if you just fill a bathtub up and just sit in it, that'll help too.
Well, I have to be able to submerge 90% of my body. I feel more comfortable, and I feel like I meditate more when I can almost lay down in water, and the only thing sticking out of the water is my face.
You better get a big bathtub because you're tall.
Oh yeah, what are you, like 6'4"?
6'2", 6'3", depending on what gas station I'm leaving.
Good Lord.
Hey, trust me, that's true. But there's just meditation works because it helps you relax. You can actually, if you can meditate it, when you come home and you can get away from all that crap that you've been throughout the day. Try it. But you have to do it every single day. And you'll find that you will gain time. Over time, you will gain time in your meditation. And I know people have busy lives. They have dogs, they have cats, they have kids, they have husbands, they have wives, they have everything going on, and they have trouble at work, and just your brain just wants to explode. But find a place. If your meditation is sitting out on your porch after work, or your front step after work in the sun, just sitting there relaxing, where you can just let your cares go away and just relax, and you can get 5-10 minutes. Sometimes that's all you need to get things started, but you've got to do it every single day. That's the key to good meditation. So I think this article, because I know we're running out of time here, this article is great from what I've read so far. There are some dangers, and please read every bit of this article if you're going to try some of the things they say in there, because they do talk about some of the dangers. But I think we all should try this. We all should do this. This would be something that would be just phenomenal to try, and just see if we can pull it off.
Got about 40 seconds, Boo.
Hey, everybody, thanks for being here tonight. Jake and Shannon, you guys are awesome, as always. I love working with you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, everybody that's out there. Thanks, Jimmy, for being in the background. You guys keep it safe. Keep doing what you do to keep us understanding what we don't understand, which makes no sense, but it makes sense in my brain. And Shannon, talk to you later.
Yes, sir.
Jake, I'll see you Saturday.
Yep.
And the rest of you guys, we'll see you in the dark. Be safe. Be careful. Thanks for being here tonight.